In every age, people have asked the same questions. What is the good life? How should we treat one another? What does it mean to be free or virtuous or just? What does it mean to be human? Western Moral Philosophy for Beginners and Selenius Media takes you on a guided journey through the minds that shaped the moral backbone of the West, from the earliest Greek thinkers to the modern age. Lived stories of struggle, ambition, conflict, revelation, all unfolding against the sweep of history. If you've ever wanted to understand philosophy clearly, calmly, and humanly, if you want to know not just what these thinkers argued, but why it mattered, follow Western Moral Philosophy for Beginners today and explore 10 more podcasts at Selenius Media. Ibn Sina, more commonly known as Avicenna, is a towering figure in medieval philosophy who lived from 980 to 1037 in Persia, now modern-day Iran. He is often celebrated for his contributions to various fields, including medicine, astronomy, and particularly philosophy. His fusion of Aristotelianism with Islamic thought laid the foundation for future discussions in moral philosophy, making him a vital bridge between ancient Greek philosophical traditions and later Western thought. While there is much to explore about Avicenna, this episode will focus specifically on his moral philosophy, examining the key texts, central ideas, and the implications of his thoughts for modern issues. Avicenna's most influential philosophic work is the Book of Healing, in which he systematically addresses various branches of philosophy, including logic, natural sciences, mathematics, and ethics. His other significant work, the Book of Salvation, specifically embodies his ethical theories and offers insights into his moral philosophy. At the heart of Avicenna's moral thought is the concept of the rational soul, which he describes in relation to human virtues and the overarching aim of human life. He posits that the rational soul strives for knowledge, goodness, and perfection, aligning closely with the Aristotelian notion of eudaimonia, or flourishing. Avicenna built on Aristotle's virtue ethics, emphasizing the importance of moral virtues as traits cultivated through habituation and reason. Unlike Aristotle, however, Avicenna insisted that knowledge and moral action are interconnected, proposing that true understanding leads to virtuous behavior. One of Avicenna's central arguments is that the ultimate goal of human life is the realization of good, achieved through the exercise of reason. He articulated this notion within the framework of his metaphysics, where he categorizes existence into various levels. The highest aspect of existence is intellect, which reflects pure goodness and knowledge. For Avicenna, moral actions are oriented towards this ultimate goal of existence. To act morally is to align oneself with this higher truth. Thus, ethical behavior is a reflection of intellectual understanding. In one of his key arguments, Avicenna delves into the topic of moral choice and the significance of free will. He argues that humans possess the capacity for rational thought and therefore can discern and choose between good and evil. This perspective not only affirms human agency, but also places a moral responsibility upon individuals. Avicenna suggests that true freedom is found in acting according to reason, rather than being driven by passions or external forces. This idea resonates today, particularly in discussions about moral accountability in steep social contexts. Let us explore a concrete scenario where Avicenna's ideas on moral decision-making may apply. In today's complex world, involving issues such as political accountability or corporate ethics, individuals often face dilemmas that can lead to decisions affecting public trust and societal well-being. Avicenna's emphasis on reason as paramount for moral choices can shed light on these situations. For instance, a politician faced with the decision to enact policy change related to climate action might reflect on their reasoning and the broader implications of this legislation. In this case, acting in accordance with reasoned ethical principles and seeking the common good, rather than yielding to immediate pressures or populism, honors Avicenna's concept of moral action. Another critical element of Avicenna's moral philosophy involves the relationship between individual happiness and the happiness of the community. He proposes that true happiness cannot be achieved in isolation and emphasizes that individuals attain their fullest potential not only by cultivating their virtues, but also by contributing to the well-being of society. This notion dialogues with modern discussions about corporate social responsibility and community-oriented practices, where businesses actively seek to create positive social impacts. A contemporary company that prioritizes sustainability and ethical sourcing aligns closely with Avicenna's belief that collective good is essential for individual fulfillment. Now, let's consider Avicenna's significance in the broader moral philosophy landscape, especially regarding critiques and limitations. One criticism of Avicenna's framework is the potential for an overly rationalistic approach that may neglect the emotional and psychological dimensions of moral life. While he emphasizes rational decisions and knowledge attainment as determining factors for moral action, critics often highlight the role of emotions and social relationships in ethical decision-making, arguing that morality cannot be entirely distilled into intellectual discourse. In this dialogue, Avicenna anticipates some of the critiques from later thinkers like David Hume. Hume famously criticized rationalism by arguing that moral sentiments and feelings are central to moral judgments. He asserts that emotions and passions play a critical role in guiding moral behavior, suggesting that a purely rational approach, like Avicenna's, might be insufficient in capturing the complexities of human ethics. Subsequent philosophers who have engaged with Avicenna's rationalistic framework often sought to reconcile his positions with the emotive aspects of moral reasoning, striving to create a comprehensive understanding that encompasses both reason and feeling. Following Avicenna, the evolution of ethical thought saw the emergence of later figures such as Immanuel Kant. Kant, much like Avicenna, emphasized the role of rationality in ethical life and proposed that true moral actions arise from the categorical imperative, acting only on that maxim which we can will to become a universal law. However, while Avicenna's perspective centers around the pursuit of knowledge, goodness, and a relationship with the ultimate truth, Kant's approach delves into the universality and moral laws that govern human interactions. Despite the differences, both thinkers address a crucial question: what constitutes moral action? Avicenna sees moral action as an alignment of rational understanding with virtue, while Kant frames it within a universalizing ethical structure. This dialogue across centuries illustrates how moral philosophy has evolved while still grappling with similar foundational questions. As we come to a close in this exploration of Avicenna's contributions to moral philosophy, let us reflect on how these ideas might manifest in our daily lives. In a world where decisions often seem overwhelming or driven by external pressures, be it in the realms of technology, healthcare, or politics, the reminder of the significance of rational thought and moral responsibility enlightens our choices. We all encounter moments where we must evaluate our motives,
grapple with ethical dilemmas, and determine what actions will lead not only to our personal fulfillment, but contribute positively to those around us. By contemplating Avicenna's philosophy, we can better appreciate the power of reason in our moral lives and continually strive to achieve a balance between individual needs and communal well-being. The pursuit of knowledge, goodness, and virtue, as Avicenna has articulated, remains a timeless quest that continues to inform our ethical journeys today. This reflection serves to invite a deeper consideration of moral philosophy in our lives and encourages us to engage thoughtfully with our decisions, honing our ability to act ethically in various contexts, whether they are personal, professional, or societal. As we navigate the complexities of modern ethics, the legacy of thinkers like Avicenna provides us with a framework to pursue a more profound understanding of what it means to live a good life, equipped with reason and aligned with a greater good. Continuing our examination of Avicenna's influence in moral philosophy, it's important to delve deeper into specific aspects of his ethical reasoning and how they can be contextualized in modern debates. Avicenna posits that human beings are not solely defined by a set of actions, but by an intrinsic nature striving toward higher truth and purpose. This perspective encourages us to view ourselves as dynamic agents in a moral landscape that calls for continual self-reflection and adaptation. One significant contribution from Avicenna is his nuanced treatment of justice. He emphasizes the importance of justice as a cardinal virtue, distinguishing between distributive justice, which concerns the fair allocation of resources, and corrective justice, which addresses the rectification of wrongs. Avicenna argues that a just society is one where individuals fulfill their roles and responsibilities in a manner that contributes to collective well-being. This approach to justice invites a contemporary evaluation of how social policies can be shaped to enhance fairness while recognizing individual rights. To better illustrate Avicenna's ideas on justice, consider a modern-day debate surrounding healthcare access. In many societies, healthcare is often seen through the lens of individual rights and responsibilities. However, if we weave Avicenna's understanding of justice into this conversation, we might ask, what is the role of the community in ensuring that health resources are distributed equitably? Avicenna would encourage us to aspire towards a system that embodies distributive justice, where health outcomes are not determined solely by socioeconomic status, but are accessible to all, reflecting a collective responsibility toward well-being. Additionally, Avicenna's thoughts on the relationship between knowledge and ethics can provide profound insights into contemporary technological debates, particularly those around artificial intelligence. As AI systems become more prevalent in decision-making processes, from hiring practices to judicial outcomes, questions arise about morality, transparency, and bias. Avicenna's assertion that true understanding leads to virtuous behavior can be crucial in grappling with the ethical implications of technology. It suggests that as we develop and implement AI, we must ensure that these systems reflect rational judgment and uphold ethical standards that contribute to the common good. For example, consider the development of algorithms that guide hiring decisions in a corporate setting. Avicenna's moral philosophy urges that those creating and deploying such technology must approach their work with a commitment to fairness and equity, ensuring that the underlying data and decision-making frameworks do not perpetuate biases. By applying Avicenna's principles, technologists can prioritize ethical considerations that not only advance efficiency, but also foster justice and inclusivity. While we reflect on Avicenna's emphasis on virtues such as justice, it is vital to recognize the limitations of his framework. Critics have pointed out that Avicenna's reliance on rationality may overlook the significance of emotional intelligence in moral decision-making. Emotions have a profound influence on human behavior and can guide individuals toward more compassionate and understanding interactions. In a world that often emphasizes productivity and rational debate, the danger lies in undervaluing the emotional dimensions that inform ethical choices. Taking this critique into account allows for a richer understanding of moral philosophy by integrating insights from thinkers like Martha Nussbaum, who argues for the importance of emotions in ethical constructions. Nussbaum, unlike Avicenna, embraces feelings as central to how we arrive at moral judgments and emphasizes that our emotional responses to others significantly shape our understanding of justice and compassion. Conversations that synthesize Avicenna's rational approach with Nussbaum's perspective might empower us to navigate ethical dilemmas with both intellect and empathy, offering a more holistic view of moral action. In pursuing an integrated perspective, one can also draw connections between Avicenna's ethical framework and the ideas of Aristotle, who he greatly admired. Aristotle's concept of virtue ethics places emphasis on character development and the idea that moral virtues must be cultivated through practice. Similar to Avicenna's pursuit of knowledge and goodness, Aristotle argues that ethical behavior stems from developing moral dispositions. This intersection enriches our understanding of how virtue and knowledge interrelate, reinforcing the notion that becoming a virtuous individual requires both intellectual awareness and emotional investment. Moving forward, we must consider the legacy of Avicenna's ideas within a contemporary context where the challenges of social fragmentation and disconnection continually arise. His vision of moral philosophy does not exist merely as an academic pursuit. It challenges individuals in their daily lives. In our increasingly individualistic society, where personal gain often seems prioritized over collective good, Avicenna's insistence on community welfare reminds us of our interconnectedness. To put it succinctly, the implications of his moral philosophy may urge individuals to contemplate their roles in fostering community and ethical relationships. Perhaps this means recalibrating our priorities in the workplace, advocating for fair practices that benefit not only shareholders, but also employees, clients, and broader society. It could also entail engaging in civic dialogue aimed at enhancing social trust and cohesion, recognizing that ethical citizenship means contributing to the common good at both local and global levels. Moreover, in the realm of personal ethics, Avicenna's recognition of the intertwined nature of knowledge and moral behavior invites us to reflect on how our beliefs shape our actions. For example, consider the impact of environmental ethics in today's discourse on sustainability. Avicenna's philosophy would lead us to probe the question: how can our understanding of our relationship with nature lead to more conscientious actions? By reflecting on our moral responsibilities toward the environment, we recognize the need for lifestyles that prioritize sustainability over convenience. This not only aligns with Avicenna's view of virtuous living, but also indicates a profound sense of moral purpose that extends beyond self in consideration of future generations. As we contemplate Avicenna's contributions to moral philosophy, it is crucial to recognize how these timeless ideas translate into our daily existence. We find ourselves constantly making decisions that require us to negotiate between self-interest and the welfare of others. In navigating these decisions, the call to reason and the pursuit of knowledge serve as guiding principles, empowering us to act not only in ways that fulfill our own needs, but in ways that also contribute to a thriving community. Furthermore, the complexity of modern ethical dilemmas compels us to seek wisdom from historical figures like Avicenna while being mindful of their limitations. We must engage with his ideas critically, integrating them with insights from various philosophical traditions and contemporary ethical discussions to cultivate a more profound understanding of morality today. In this dialogue, we can honor Avicenna's legacy while addressing pressing issues like social justice, environmental sustainability, and the ethics of technology moving forward. As we conclude our deep dive into Avicenna's moral philosophy, I invite you to reflect on the ethical dimensions of your daily choices. Whether it's your role as a member of your community, your involvement in your workplace, or even your personal relationships, consider how Avicenna's ideas of knowledge, justice, and virtue can provide a foundation for more meaningful engagement with the world around you. As agents of change, let us embrace the call to harmonize reason with empathy, striving for a righteous path that aims at both personal flourishing and the advancement of collective welfare. The pursuit of knowledge and goodness, as Avicenna articulated, continues to resonate, inviting us to explore what it truly means to lead a good life in our contemporary age. As we delve deeper into the specifics of Avicenna's moral philosophy, it is important to touch upon his intricate system of ethics, which intertwines the concepts of knowledge, virtue, and the ultimate good. Avicenna posits that all human actions are directed towards seeking happiness, and he equates happiness with knowledge and virtue. This leads us to consider his perspective on the nature of the ultimate good, which he encapsulates in his notion of the highest good or the necessary existent. This ultimate principle is not just an abstract concept, but a guiding light for individuals striving to attain moral success in their lives. Avicenna establishes a clear relationship between knowledge and ethics by asserting that moral virtues arise from a deep understanding of true existence and a commitment to intellectual pursuits. This view fosters a persistent inquiry into the nature of virtue, as Avicenna underscores the transformative power of knowledge. In his works, he emphasizes that through the cultivation of knowledge, individuals develop virtues that lead them to act ethically and justly within their communities. Thus, knowledge is not merely theoretical. It serves as the foundation for moral action and character development. For instance, Avicenna's assertion that true happiness is attained through the pursuit of knowledge can be applied to contemporary discussions about education. In a world that often emphasizes standardized testing and vocational training, the question arises: how do we cultivate an educational environment that truly fosters virtue and ethical thinking? Reflecting on Avicenna's moral framework encourages educators to explore a broader definition of success, one that encompasses not only academic achievement, but also the development of character, empathy, and social responsibility among students. By nurturing a curriculum that values critical thinking and ethical reflection, educational institutions can align with Avicenna's vision of knowledge as a pathway to true happiness and moral living. Furthermore, Avicenna's exploration of morality extends into the domain of political philosophy, particularly his thoughts on the nature of the state and governance. He argues that the just ruler acts as a guardian of virtue, ensuring that the laws and policies of a community reflect ethical principles. He emphasizes the importance of justice as a cornerstone of governance, suggesting that leaders must embody the virtues they wish to see in their citizens. Avicenna's ideal ruler is one who possesses intellectual, moral, and philosophical knowledge, seeking to elevate the ethical standards of the society they govern. In modern political contexts, Avicenna's insights resonate within ongoing dialogues about leadership ethics. For example, during times of political turmoil or corruption, citizens often look for leaders who exhibit integrity and commitment to the public good. Such qualities mirror Avicenna's emphasis on the moral responsibility of rulers to act justly. His philosophy invites us to examine not only the qualities we seek in leaders, but also our own roles as engaged citizens. In doing so, we might reflect on how we hold our leaders accountable and whether we encourage a political culture that upholds ethical values. A critical dimension of Avicenna's moral philosophy lies in his approach to the virtues essential for both individual flourishing and community well-being. Beyond intellectual pursuits, he identifies several key virtues that individuals should cultivate: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Each of these virtues contributes uniquely to the moral development of a person and the functionality of a community. To illustrate the application of these virtues in contemporary society, consider the importance of courage in addressing social injustices. Today, individuals who stand against discrimination often embody this value by challenging unfair practices and policies. By invoking a commitment to justice, these changemakers align closely with Avicenna's vision of moral life. They recognize that seeking justice requires not only the will to identify wrongdoings, but also the courage to act, even when faced with resistance or pushback. Moreover, temperance speaks to the need for balance and moderation in our actions, a dimension increasingly relevant in our hyper-connected, often polarized environment.
The abundance of information available today can lead to impulsive decisions driven by emotions rather than reason. Avicenna's call for temperance reminds us of the value of thoughtful deliberation in our daily interactions. Be it in personal relationships, public discourse, or social media engagements. Seeking to temper our responses and consider the perspective of others can lead to healthier, more constructive conversations in a divisive landscape. In relation to justice, Avicenna's emphasis on equality and fairness can be further applied to contemporary questions regarding systemic injustice. For example, in discussions of criminal justice reform, Avicenna's insights prompt us to consider how the legal system can be restructured to align with the principles of distributive and corrective justice. This perspective encourages a movement away from punitive measures alone and toward rehabilitative justice, illuminating pathways for genuine societal healing and reintegration. Avicenna's ideas about the interconnectedness of personal and communal well-being also resonate in modern dialogues around mental health and societal support systems. For instance, during challenging times, the well-being of one individual can be profoundly tied to the health of their community. Promoting support networks, resources, and mental health initiatives aligns closely with Avicenna's belief that personal flourishing cannot exist in isolation. Recognizing our interconnectedness calls for collective action and compassion, as doing so honors Avicenna's moral vision while reinforcing our shared responsibilities toward one another. Critiques of Avicenna's moral philosophy often arise from differing perspectives on the balance between rationality and emotion. While his commitment to reason plays a pivotal role in his ethical system, critics maintain that human beings are inherently influenced by emotional experiences, which inform our moral lives. This critique, echoing notions put forth by philosophers like David Hume, serves as a reminder that while knowledge and rationality are essential in ethical decision-making, emotional and relational aspects are equally significant. Navigating this critique is vital for understanding how Avicenna's framework can be adapted within our moral discussions today. Engaging with emotional intelligence can enhance our capacity for empathy and understanding, qualities necessary for addressing ethical dilemmas. By embracing both reason and emotion, we can foster a more holistic approach to ethical living that resonates with Avicenna's vision while recognizing the complexities of human nature. The dialogue between Avicenna and later philosophers does not end with Hume. Consider the work of contemporary ethicist Alasdair MacIntyre, who emphasizes the significance of virtue in communal contexts. MacIntyre's exploration of virtue ethics intersects with Avicenna's emphasis on moral character and the importance of community. Both thinkers highlight that virtues are not merely individual traits, but can thrive in environments that foster moral growth. By entirely exhaustively exploring the ways in which virtues are cultivated socially, individuals can better connect Avicenna's philosophical insights to modern ethical practices. Examining the evolution of ethical thought through the lenses of various traditions reveals not only the historical significance of figures like Avicenna, but also the continuous interplay of ideas through time. As we consolidate these discussions, we see the threads that link Avicenna's moral philosophy to present-day ethical questions about leadership, justice, virtue, and community engagement. Through this examination, it becomes evident that Avicenna's moral philosophy is not limited to historical analysis. Rather, it serves as a living discourse that invites us to actively engage with contemporary ethical challenges, encouraging critical reflection on our values and actions. Avicenna's insights stimulate us to think not only about the broader implications of our choices, but also about how we can cultivate our virtues in alignment with the common good. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, Let us honor Avicenna's legacy by striving for a deeper understanding of moral philosophy that holds reason, knowledge, and empathy in a delicate balance. In doing so, we can foster a robust ethical framework that encourages positive actions, contributing to personal flourishing and enriching our communities in the process. In conclusion, Avicenna's contributions to moral philosophy offer profound insights that command our attention in today's ethical landscape. His exploration of the interconnectedness of knowledge, virtue, and the well-being of society underscores the dynamic nature of moral philosophy, urging us to continually reflect on our ethical commitments in a rapidly changing world. By actively engaging with these ideas, we can draw inspiration from his work to cultivate a more inclusive, compassionate, and just society, paving the way for future generations to flourish and learn from the wisdom of the past. In the spirit of Avicenna's vision, let us not forget the timeless pursuit of knowledge and goodness, echoing through our daily actions and reflections as we seek to lead lives marked by ethical integrity and meaningful connection with others.
Midnight rails under silver moon, dusty boots on a winding road. A shadow's the only friend I've known since she packed up and let me go. Empty whiskey bottle on the seat, her laugh still echoes in my bones. Saddle's heavy with memories. I ride alone where the wind still blows. Nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be. Nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be. Sunrise paints the horizon gold, but it don't warm a lonesome soul. Every town I pass feels half her size. Every trail's haunted by goodbye. I whisper prayers to open skies, hoping someday my heart'll find a brand new path beyond the pain, where broken hearts can heal in time. Nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be. Nowhere else to be, nowhere else to be. No